Call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School District to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Slow enough.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. Do I have action on the minutes for March 22nd?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Great, thank you. Any comment?
Sleeping over there.
Sorry.
Any comments? Nope. All right. All in favor? Unanimous? Great, thank you. I will send around the manifest documents in just a minute. Tom, would you like to do nominations?
Sure.
Did everybody find all the nominations in their folders?
So this is the nomination list is just the full nomination.
It's
Read all the
well,
names. So I'm asking for a motion to move the list as presented.
Motion to move the list as presented.
Second.
all right. All in favor?
Thank you.
Great. Okay, resignations?
We have a few. The Bakey School, Evelyn Rizitano, grade 1 teacher, Holly Street, kindergarten teacher, Dawn Thurlow, special education teacher. At the Memorial School, Stacy Brown, 4th grade teacher, Nicole Nauman, 4th grade teacher, Taylor Libby, Title I teacher, and Karen Parr, reading specialist. At the middle school, Madison Lazika, unified arts teacher, part-time. At the high school, Brenda Goudreau, math interventionist, Jillian Spiro, math teacher, Timothy Westfall, assistant principal, and at the district, Kayleen Frazier, the district social worker. Yes,
Just for clarification, these are all effective end of the school year.
most of them. There's 1 or 2 that are sooner. I think Kayleen Frazier has actually accepted a position somewhere else and will be leaving us in the middle of April.
I make a motion to accept with regrets.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Unanimous?
Yes.
Yeah, none of us really want to. but
Yeah.
yes.
I'd still like to vote no on that. Have
I know, I
everybody vote
really
no
wish
as
we
well.
could. Superintendent's report, and just before we get too far in, if anyone is opposed, let me know, but I would like to move 7.1, the Eagle Scout project, up so that it doesn't have to sit here and wait for everything. So maybe we could do Tom's report, and if nobody is upset about that, we'll move it up.
Yeah, works for me.
I mean, patience is a good. learning thing.
Well, once they sit through Tom's spiel here, that's enough patience.
guess
right
that's
there.
I think we should actually move Ryan's presentation to the very end.
Yeah.
Well, we could do that, but I'd like to be nicer, so.
He can go before me if you want.
Just, you're on a roll.
All right, all right.
Keep
Well,
going, and then get this part all checked off, and then we'll,
thank you. First of all, I wanted to say today is National Paraprofessionals Day. So I went around the schools today and we gave $10 gift cards to the paras and said thank you for everything that they do. And I just want to reiterate that, you know, obviously the school's staffing is critical, and the paraprofessionals do some very challenging work. They handle the students that have some of our toughest behaviors, and they do it very well, and we are very grateful for them. I also wanted to just reiterate again, as I posted on Facebook and sent in a letter recently, that, you know, the recent events in Nashville and Colorado were truly heartbreaking. While we as a team do not recommend observing the video of the assailant in Nashville because it's so disturbing, we did review the video to learn what we can do to prevent the tragedy by improving our practices. The video showed empty hallways because the students and staff knew how to quickly respond to an imminent threat in the school or on the campus. The video validates that staff and student training is critical. And while we recognize that safety drills are not popular, they are effective prevention measures. Fire drills were not popular at one time, but ultimately saved lives. Our administrative staff collaborate regularly with our facilities and safety manager, and that'd be Dan Doyle, And we do that to educate students and staff about school safety, review procedures and protocols, and plan and carry out drills. It's important for everyone to know that we do learn things from the drills and we do make changes. And it is very, very important. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we are very grateful. Last spring, I talked with the board and explained that I have thought for a number of years as a superintendent of schools and as a guidance counselor prior to that, that the number one thing that we could do to protect our students is have an armed officer at the school. And the board supported that last year for the first time. And I was grateful then, and I'm just as grateful today. And also having a police car in front of the school says to people, there's someone here. This isn't going to be easy. And I just want to thank you for that. And I also wanted to take a minute to sincerely thank the people that are our resource officers. We have Officer Oljay and at the Memorial School and who we lovingly call Officer Pat over at the high school. And then we've had all of the different police officers from Kingston going through Bakey so they get to know the school, which is super important because we've learned from this recent event that some of the police officers didn't know the building. And that makes it really hard for them to do their jobs. So we have a regular superintendent safety committee that meets and reviews protocols with not only the local police, but also the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department and all the people associated with that, such as fire and other safety organizations. We meet pretty often, at least once every 2 months, sometimes more often. So I just want everyone to know that I'm grateful for all of your support. The staff is grateful for your support, the school board and the community for having the resource officers. And I wanted to thank all the folks that help us out to keep the schools safe, and for our staff and students for participating in the drills and learning what to do in the event of a horrible tragedy. On a more exciting or fun note, it's springtime. And we are really excited for spring sports and outdoor activities and all the fun things that go along with that. And so when it's time, I think JJ can give us more of an update on the festive activities that are coming up this year. I will say this, April break is only a few weeks away. And then after that, it's like a train going downhill with no brakes. It goes very quickly. We're rolling right to graduation. So we're very excited to welcome our seniors. And this one's going to be super tough for me. My son turns 18 Friday and he's graduating this year. I don't know how I'm going to make it through the graduation speech this year, but I will prepare and practice. So if I get choked up, I'll at least be audible. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Don.
Then forward. And Ryan, if you would like to come up and present, we'd love to have you.
Hello, my name is Ryan and I am the scout candidate from 5th grade.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello. So today I have a brief overview of my project proposal, which is actually taking place here at the high school. So what the project is
Thank you.
a 16-foot.
You have one for Heather.
Thank you. The project is a 16-foot long flat bridge that extends from.
Excuse me.
Ryan,
Let's go to the mic.
podium.
Oh, microphone. Yes. He was good when he was walking around because all the microphones picked him up.
Yeah. There you go.
As you can probably tell, this is my first time presenting at a school board meeting.
You are good. No worries.
Yeah,
No
you did great.
judgment. Good job.
So my project is a two-part project at the high school. It involves the construction of a 16-foot floating bridge, as the diagram shows there, as well as general revitalization and cleanup of the beehive area. If you're not familiar with where the beehive is, that is over at the end of the running track at the sports field, down a little hill, and you can actually quite see it from the back loop around. The pathway is approximately 14 meters and it extends over the drainage ditch at the area. You can see the sprinting track there. It extends out from the back gate and over to You can't see it in the woods, but there is an outdoor classroom there. The reason why this project is important is because at the moment, the area is not handicap accessible. We have a few students in our school who have handicaps such as wheelchairs or crutches. And the only access to this area, the beehive and the outdoor classroom, is through either the drainage ditch, which is on too large of a slope for ADA standards, and also through the murky water there, which I'm sure no one wants to walk through even with boots. Or alternatively, there is a very precarious staircase. I almost fell down the staircase on my first time over there. But those two pathways are the only ways to get over to the beehive area. What the bridge does is it actually rectifies this by having a ADA compliant slant over the drainage ditch so that students with different handicaps can access the beehive and the outdoor classroom easily. So today, April 5th, I hope to obtain permission from the school board to go about this project. On the 18th is the next Eagle Project Review Board. I hope to get my project approved by the Eagle Scout Board so I can move on to fundraising. On the first weekend of May is when I hope to present my fundraiser. I will elaborate on that later. And we hope to raise about $1,300 is what the projected cost of this project would be. In June is when we plan on starting the project, consolidating the materials and beginning construction. And we hope to have this project complete before the end of August when school starts again. So after the project's initial construction, we believe that it will not require any additional upkeep. All of the lumber for the project is pressure treated. All the screws are weatherproof. So we believe that it will be able to withstand quite a long time before it needs to be removed. As stated before, the project is about $1,300, including tools, materials, and labor. And the funds will be raised through a fundraiser, which I'm currently in the early talking stages of. But a little bit ago during Kingston Days, there was what was called the Fill the Boot fundraiser. And I plan on doing something similar to that. It's where there's a presentation of my project. And there's a boot, which we still have, that is meant to be filled up with, money donations. We hope to fill the boot, obviously. We plan on, if we're able to, having this fundraiser at the Sanborn Drama Club musical, Little Shop of Horrors, because we believe that it'll bring a lot of revenue towards this project, hopefully surpassing the price goal that we need. Any additional funds that we raise from this fundraiser would be donated back to the school and its various departments. At the moment, the only help that we will require from the school, aside from permissions for different events, would be stations to plant materials so we can easier bring them down to the construction site. Ms. Mitchinson is the project beneficiary for this Eagle Scout project, as well as my Scoutmaster, Tim Blomberg over there, and my Eagle coach, James Gevin, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. They will be advising me on the project and proper procedures and school policy, what's needed for this project. Are there any questions? Yes?
It says asphalt. What's the asphalt for?
So in addition to the bridge, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we're going to be adding a crushed asphalt path, not paved asphalt, but we plan on having that extend from right beyond the gate at the end of the running track all the way down to the around the lowest point of the hill towards the outdoor classroom. This is so we can more easily make an ADA compliant slope for wheelchairs and such.
Thank you.
So you're talking like the recycled asphalt?
Yes.
Great. That stuff likes to bind together over time and it makes it really fairly secure situation for what you're looking to do. So that's a great idea. I love this. I think it's fabulous. And I really hope that you can overfill that boot. That would be great.
Yeah, we hope so.
More of a comment, but as someone who has fallen down those stairs before, I'm very glad that you're doing this.
Yeah, and I just, I think we should probably, and I think it's a great idea. And Mr. Blomberg, I've been involved with you and Scouts and both Mr. and Mrs. Mallon. You've been involved with the scouting program since I moved here. Definitely thanks to you for staying engaged. Tim, you've done a number of projects throughout the town with the Scouts, which should go mentioned 100%. And I think without a doubt, besides the boot, definitely want to sell those brownies and cookies at the Brewfest because that was a big hit. I heard, I don't know firsthand, but I would go that round as
It
well.
was a lot of labor. We figured we'd go for
I
something a
think
little.
you got the best person in the back to help you out with that. And if I remember, they were pretty good. I heard.
We're pretty good.
So Ryan, this seems like a great project. As a fellow Eagle Scout, I know it takes a long hard work to get here. So congratulations to you. It doesn't happen alone. It happens with a bunch of support behind you, your family, friends, and your fellow Scouts. So congratulations.
Thank
One
you.
quick question for you. There's a million things you could have chose from. Why'd you settle on this project? It seems like a great idea to me, but what inspired you the most about this?
Well, initially it was Miss Mulvey and Miss Petruzzi who approached me with a couple of project ideas. And I'm not quite sure why, but I like the idea of building something at the high school that was permanent, that my fellow teachers and my fellow students could use for years to come.
That's fantastic. Thanks.
And I'll just, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have no questions. I just think it's a great idea and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I wanted to say I know this is the first time you said presenting to the school board. I don't know how much presentation experience you've had in the past, but you did an excellent job. You know, this is a really great presentation deck that you've given us. If anyone was not confident about the fact that you would execute this project well for the future, I think everyone's doubts would have been alleviated by your presentation. So great work.
Thank you. I had some great help.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Great.
Second.
Perfect. All right. Any further comments or discussion?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. I've walked down there and it will make a big difference. So thank you so much.
All right. All in favor?
Absolutely.
Woohoo.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so very
Great job.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
All right. Back to the boring stuff. I
One of
know.
those.
Well, I had to do something after Tom. So that was a great, that was a great one.
Ryan, you're not going to stay for the 9 committee report?
Come on.
Tolerated.
Don't worry, I don't think there are any tonight.
I don't think the study reports
Oh,
tonight.
God, gee. Wait a minute, you missed the
Memo that
meeting.
we're going to just
You
summarize.
missed the meeting.
We're going to summarize.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get that.
I can summarize.
Did
Just-
Tom,
Perfect.
did
That's
Tom
ready.
catch you up to date on this?
No.
Yeah.
Bullet points. That's it.
Bullet points.
Bullet points.
Summarize.
Yeah, Jamie, there's a fantastic book. Really good.
Kind of a long title, though.
I got a copy on my desk, Rick.
So yeah, we're gonna start just doing bullet points, key points. And having people go online and read the minutes if they want all the specific details.
Understood.
But hey, with all that said, you do you.
No,
All right, so it sounds
Love
like
you, Jamie, but
Jamie has a subcommittee report, so we go and I'm gonna time it now.
2-minute timer.
So I had a finance subcommittee meeting on March 8th. We had money before the meeting. We have money after the meeting. There are totals listed in the minutes as to what those monies are and how they've been spent.
Perfect.
So I won't get into all those details. But I will go to the details of just the projected year end surplus, because that's important.
Yeah.
So Mr. Angel had pointed out that he expected somewhere in the neighborhood about a 500,000 surplus. And he gave us the breakdown of surplus revenues of about 66,000 is the anticipation. He needs to pull funding out for $125,000 for the warrant articles that were approved for the reserve funds. 75,000 net contingency change from what we have in the contingency now, the 2.5% to what it would be. 300,000 set aside for expected out of district special education costs. 100,000 set aside for special education curriculum. 50,000 for water system repair, which we reviewed and agreed on the meeting on the 8th. That nets to about 630,000. And he was saying based upon the 630,000, he expects it will probably end up somewhere around 500,000 for the surplus. The trust fund balances are all in the minutes. And we talked a bit about vandalism, but we'll be talking about that in the, I think, of the policy. And the only other item was there were 3 different budget request changes. And I read those out at the last meeting, so I don't have to read them out, but we are required to report in on those.
Great.
And then these minutes, Phyllis, I'm sure we'll be posting them so people can find them, but
You're talking about getting a gong and you almost got there tonight.
they're gone.
Like the
Gong
gong
show?
show, like the gong show.
Gallagher
He
on
wants
that
to
show?
get pulled out of here. He's done.
Gallagher on that show? He was.
Okay, so really quickly, since we're in committee reports, typically I like to call everybody and kind of like give them a heads up of exactly what subcommittees they're going to be on. But Tom and I were kind of collaborating on this until the 11th hour because we had some changes that had to be made. So I'm going to just kind of list off what we're looking for moving forward. And if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me after. Okay. So, and please don't ask to change anything because this makes everything work with the new system we're trying to go with. So like
It was the matrix.
there is a whole matrix. Like this took a lot, but I think it's going to make it so we don't have to spend as many hours here every Wednesday. So everybody likes that. Okay. So the first name that I read on each subcommittee assignment is the returning member, because last year, what I recommended moving forward was that we tried to keep one person that has historical knowledge, because it's rough when you try to come into stuff that's already happening and you don't have somebody on a subcommittee that already kind of knows that can help get everybody up to date. So on facilities, we're going to have Rick, Jeremiah, and Jamie. On finance, we are going to have Jamie, Micah, and Jeremiah. PR, Rick, Micah, and Jeremiah, and I'll give these all to you guys later. Excellence in student achievement, Dawn, Maura, Heather. By happenstance, policy, Heather, Maura, Dawn. It's tough making it so that people are rotated around and not easy. Personnel, Maura, Heather, Jamie. Then for BudCom, Micah has agreed to help us out with that. So thank you for that. And SST, Heather, if you don't mind doing that again, that would be fabulous.
Fine.
We would appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you.
Honestly, Christine covers most of the time.
Yeah, I know.
So, but
Yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
have no problem doing that.
Yep.
Great.
And can you email those out?
I
'Cause
will
did
send
not
that
write
to
fast
everybody.
enough.
Like I said, it was like I was collaborating with Tom on this until the 11th hour to make sure that everything worked out. So we're good. We're good to go. So I'll take and I will send all of you you can have my chicken scratch handwriting if you want to take a picture of it and send it to you.
That's fine. I just.
But no, I'll make sure
wasn't
you
writing
writing
fast
that so that it's
Good.
So I think
Good to go.
the one thing that we were really collaborating on is we're trying to have the first meeting of the month, have an hour meeting at 4 and an hour meeting at 5. And then the second meeting of the month, there's one at 5:15, but none at 4. So we're gonna have 2 meetings simultaneously this year. So try to make it so that
Sure.
everybody could be in the, one group might be meeting in one room and another group's in another room, and it's much more efficient. We just, for whatever reason, we've never been able to get that to work, but a lot of things do that. And it makes for a much more efficient night. I will work with Matt to try to have the longer non-public stuff on the second meeting when you have the shorter subcommittee.
Right.
So that it's not, there's just a point where after 3 or 4 hours, we're kind of done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard. So we're trying to make it so that one night isn't more than 4 hours.
So you go to all the subcommittee meetings. So if we're having 2 of the simultaneously, who will be?
So
Yeah.
he and Christine or he
Christine,
and Matt
And Troy Kennett.
will have,
Split it up.
Okay,
oh,
And then
we'll
if I
have the
need to
SAU
go to one,
people.
I'll go,
okay.
right? Like I'll go to the one that needs me the most.
Okay.
So yeah, we talked about that as well, splitting it up between the different SAU staff to.
I mean, special invitation for you to attend.
No, it means I can drop into anyone at any
Oh,
time.
wow.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's try.
And I know we can maybe talk more about this, but I do think like policy would be something that I feel like you should be at more.
Yes. Yes. And Troy is very capable of helping with policy as well, but I do agree policy is very important.
Yes,
Policy and ISA are 2 places. Christine will be taking a very active hand in ISA because she's doing all. And by policy, you should vote to affirm the subcommittees because it is a board decision. It's the chair's decision, but the
Yep.
board affirms.
Motion to accept the subcommittees as the chair has stated.
Second,
any just further discussion? All right,
Bullet points only.
bullet points only.
took
All
it
in
well.
favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, on to JJ. Council reports.
It's a long one. 13 students yesterday went to the New Hampshire Scholar Athlete Ceremony. That's hosted by the New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association and the New Hampshire Athletic Directors Association. It was a great experience, and we're all very honored to be given that award. The New Hampshire Astronomical Society is coming on April 13th at 7 p.m. in room 106 for Sanborn Skywatch. They'll be giving a presentation about astronomical observation, different types of telescopes they use and that kind of stuff. And then they will actually take us outside with some of their really fancy
what day is that?
telescopes. April 13th at 7 p.m. And they're going to go outside. We're going to use the telescopes and go actually look at some stuff and hopefully take some pictures. So that's going to be really neat. I'm very excited for that personally. Athletic games start this week. We're all super hyped. The opening days for all the spring sports are girls tennis, April 3rd, home versus Trinity. That already passed. Boys tennis, April 4th. That already passed as well. Home versus Trinity. Baseball, we have a scrimmage tomorrow, April 6th, away versus Timberlane. Softball today, they had a scrimmage away versus Wyndham. And outdoor track, April 11th, away at Concord. Everyone on all the sports teams are super excited for that. My home screen of my computer is a changing countdown till the moment that starts. So we're all very excited for that. On March 23rd, the Submariners welcomed alongside Submariners, the high school administration, Sanborn trustees, and others, including the Kingston Historical Society, welcome UNH President James Dean Jr. and Executive Director Thomas Cronin to the school. They gave the president and executive director a briefing on the submarine. In case you're not aware, the UNH and specifically UNH's engineering department are helping out and have a partnership with the Submariners. And that partnership is great for both sides, and it's great for the team especially, and we're really excited to see what they end up producing. The Sustainability Club is hosting a seed drive. Any individual or organizations interested in donating seeds would be helping massively. If you would like to donate, you can reach out to Miss Petruzzi at mpetruzzi@sau17.net. National Honor Society is offering spring gardening / yard work to any members of the community that would like, you can email emulvey@sau17.net if you'd like more information about that. Sanborn Star, a talent show hosted by the class of 2025 as a fundraiser, went really well. Porcelain Jumpsuit, a student run or a student band, took home the gold. I was not able to attend, sadly. I was not. I was out of state, but from the videos I've seen, all the performances were very interesting to watch, apparently. And the prom committee is looking for donations from community members to donate to help out the prom. If you'd like to donate, you can reach out to victoria.gibson@sau17.net.
Great. Thank you, JJ. All right.
Can I make a comment
Absolutely.
to what JJ just said?
Yes.
You said that they were looking for donations for the prom.
Yes.
I'd just like to say that, that if you go to alternative sales and you buy some locally made maple syrup, donations go directly to the prom. The junior prom, you can go in and you can decide where you want your charity to be. And the prom is one of the 4 charities we have listed. So it's all maple syrup made from Kingston, from like the plains and whatnot. So that's another way people can donate.
Perfect.
I meant to text you. I wanted to buy some.
What's that?
I meant to text you.
Oh.
I want some too, so I'll be over tomorrow.
We had that as a line item, just like 30 cartons of maple syrup.
Put it in your coffee.
It's all right. We'll be good with that. All right. Public comment, since there is no public here, because we're all up here. We will move on. We've already done the Eagle Scout project, school board calendar.
Our calendar pretty much follows the same process as previous years. I just wanted to point out one thing. Matt and I met with the budget committee chair and vice chair. That's Courtney Hewitt and Dan Guide, and we had a great conversation, and we are proposing a change to the process for next year. So what we would like to do is I'll present the budget on the first night in November, the same way I always do. And then that night, we're going to have everyone pair up again like we did last year and go around and meet with every department, not just 2 or 3. So take an hour or 2, let them talk, and then give them a week to review. And then we're going to meet again and do it again. So they can review the documents, think about their conversations, come back and ask more questions. We're trying to avoid 230 repetitive questions. So the 4 of us just wanted you to know that we were proposing this change. And the second night is really, the first night they've just received the budget, so they don't really have their questions yet. But if they can talk with each person, each group for 15 or 20 minutes and get the sense of what's going on, then they can go back and think about further questions and then come in the second night and ask questions. And then after that, if they still aren't clear about anything, they'll email Matt and we'll create a document and answer any further questions and share the document publicly. So the goal is to increase interactivity and transparency for everyone in the community with the administrators and the department heads. And we thought, well, let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, then we'll do it again next year. But it went so well last year that we just wanted to increase everyone by making sure that everyone on the board and everyone on the BudCom had a chance to all the departments. So that's our plan.
Will members of the public be able to, where normally those questions are answered in a public forum where people from the public can come in and listen, will they be able to sit down and cycle through as well if they wanted to?
Yes.
Or are they allow? Okay.
Yes, I really, there's nothing to hide. It's a public budget. So the goal is to have a workshop type session where everyone can just come and people who want to listen can listen. What we want to make sure is that the most of the interaction is between the board and BudCom and the principal. If a member of the public has a lot of questions for one person, they should do that by scheduling an appointment with that person outside of the workshop, but they can listen. It's a public meeting, so they can observe and listen.
Okay.
Yeah, and to further on that, Courtney and I also spoke, and I told you about this, to make sure that they're kept more up to date on, line item transfers or big things going on in facilities or curriculums, things like that. Phyllis actually has agreed to start sending the BudCom chair the agenda. Every time she sends it to us, she's going to send it to the BudCom chair as well, so they can see what's on the agenda, so it's readily available, and she can let her committee members or whoever the next BudCom chair is, know what's coming up, so they can attend those meetings or know to go back to watch the video afterwards, so that they can kind of stay on top of what's going on, so that hopefully they'll be a little more informed and maybe have some fewer questions moving forward. So we're all kind of getting the same information at the same time. So
One other thing is Matt we developed a list of topics that Matt's going to train the BudCom on. So he normally does an overview of the process and everything, but this year he's going to help them to understand that when you just read the numbers, if you look, well, this line went down by 25%, but this one went up, and explaining that money sometimes follows students.
right.
So we get a lot of questions, probably 40 or 50 out of the 220 questions that are just about special ed. And we keep explaining to folks that special ed, the student may have moved from one school to another. So it goes down at one school and up at the next. It takes a lot of time up to answer questions about that. Having said that, we want everyone to feel comfortable asking, but we just want to make sure that people know what the common questions are from year to year that we are repetitively answering. Not because people are doing a good job. It's not a problem, but it takes up a lot of time. And if we can answer them proactively instead of reactively, it might speed the process up a little.
Right. It's all about collaboration this year.
Yep.
That's what we're really working towards.
So guess naysayer, right, here we go. Last year, the public was here, members of the public, and questions were asked. So I listened to them. So
Questions were asked when?
in the breakout groups
Oh, they were.
at 100%.
Okay.
Comments and questions, comments were made, questions were asked. So I'm just wondering how productive it'll be if you have 50 people here asking questions. Well, what are we going to get out of that?
I think we need to talk about that then, and we don't have to solve that tonight, but I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, because I was in one of the groups, so I couldn't observe.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that feedback, because if the public attending was allowed to ask questions of administrators, not just the board and BudCom,
That is correct.
that we might need to make that norm clear,
Yeah.
right? Moving forward, that,
Or have it structured.
or have it structured.
Breakout rooms with adequate size. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't, like you said, we don't have to solve it tonight, but that did occur last year.
Thank you. I didn't know that
I didn't
because I
either.
wasn't able to circulate with
It
other.
did, certainly.
That's-
did.
100%.
didn't happen
And
in my
I agree with
group either,
I agree with
yeah.
the point being made. I mean, the observances should be there. They
Right.
can be there and they can observe, but to the point that you made, it should be the board that's asking the questions. It's the board's meeting with the administration.
Yeah.
They can certainly take notes, and then they can follow up
Right.
directly with
Uh-huh,
people on
uh-huh.
questions or
Yeah.
items that
Yeah.
they have.
You know, we can also learn something from our Eagle Scout. There's this section in the back, other Q&A, right? Like if we could anticipate questions
Yeah.
and provide answers ahead of time that can
Yeah.
be circulated, right? Just to sort of mitigate some of the
Right.
obvious ones that are going to be asked or that we always get asked.
Right.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
it would be a wonderful problem to have to deal with.
Yeah.
I would.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I don't foresee it being a problem. I'm just, what if, right?
right.
If there is 50 or 100 people here that want to be engaged in the process, we just have to make sure we have the ground rules laid out, because we want them to be engaged, but we want and what I heard is we're doing this so the BudCom can be better educated on the process. So we want them to get the full benefit, right?
Right.
So that's.
No, I appreciate that. That's a great point. We'll work on this.
And I like your point of having some Q&As, especially for the second meeting. After the first meeting, we'll really be able
You'll know
to
what they are.
know exactly what people are going to ask for, so they could come prepared with a list that everybody at the table can look at first before they ask their questions or ask follow-up questions too. So I think that's a great idea.
I know everyone's going to want to know what's going on with special ed.
Mhm.
Everyone's going to want to know, when are we getting lights for the track?
Right.
Everyone wants to know when we're getting a turf field.
Right.
Everyone wants to know what's going on with Memorial,
Yeah.
right? With the heat pumps and
Mhm.
the portable unit. And those are all, honestly, they're kind of funny, some of them, but they're really good. I mean, I really want these lights. I keep bringing them up. I know it's a long shot, but I
You
keep
better
shooting
start some
for it.
fundraising
I
right
know,
now.
it's just so fun in the fall when we have
Well, there's
football.
food out. There's this boot that I've heard. Yeah.
Every
I've
year.
been hearing about this boot.
There's some companies that, oh, you just gotta talk to the right companies.
Yeah.
There we go.
We'll see you at Brewfest with the boot.
All right, thanks. Rick.
Right? Seriously.
Only we knew somebody that had to do with a company that had something to do with lighting. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so if we don't have any more questions about the school board calendar, do I have somebody that will move it forward?
I thought we already did.
Did we?
No,
didn't
this
vote
is
on
the
it.
school board calendar. It's your meeting calendar with. your
That was the
meetings, Rick.
school.
Oh,
calendar. This is
okay.
board. So these are all our
All right, sorry.
meetings that are listed here, all, everything that's in red. It's red, right?
I
Yeah, the
make a
red
motion
squares.
to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Tuition rates, Matt.
Okay, so this is an annual process that we have to go through. And I'm asking the school board to adopt the tuition rates as stated here. And basically the rates are calculated using actual numbers. There's a state report called the DOE 25, and that reports all the balance sheet revenue and expenditures of the school district. You're going to see it this coming August for approval. And at the bottom of that, it sets it calculates the tuition rates that ends up on this letter. Okay. So the 2023-24 tuition rate for the elementary schools, $22,081.88. The middle school is $22,268.10. The high school is $20,246.24. We also have a calculation for the Fremont School District, and the rates that are listed here are the GMR rates for 23-24. Tuition is $19,182.45. Capital cost $2,358.61 with a total of $21,541.06. That's it.
Right. All right, do I have a motion to accept tuition rates for 23-24?
Motion to accept the tuition rates for 2023-24.
Second.
Great, any discussion? All right, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
It's important to remember that if someone asks if they can send their student to Sanborn, this is the rate that they'll pay.
Right,
So that's what we use this for. It's for the purpose of people who, we have a student that will be joining us, a superintendent reached out to me, and they'll be joining us next fall. And that district is paying the tuition rate for the student to attend. So I'll use this document for that purpose.
Mhm.
That's an example. We've had some parents call and ask, what would it cost if I wanted my child to go to Sanborn?
all right, budget adjustment for special education.
Great. I received a budget adjustment, and unfortunately, the finance committee is not meeting right now, so I need to kind of bring it before you for approval. And basically, what this budget adjustment does is it transfers special education transportation funds from one line to another, and it's going out of the Beaky transportation and into the pre-K transportation for $26,900, out of the high school special ed transportation into the memorial special ed transportation for $15,400. So the total is $42,300.
I'll move to approve. This is transfers within special education. Just because of what it means. It's common on the finance committee.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Unanimous,
Great, thank you.
thank you. All right, policies. Tom and Heather.
I'll take the lead on this. We can take these one at a time or move the whole group.
Well, some of them are first read, some of them are first and second.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. So the first three could be a group, JLCF Wellness, JLDBB, suicide prevention and response, and IKFAA could be moved as a group or taken individually at the will of the board.
Has everyone had a chance to review?
Where are these?
Yeah, so.
See them in the list or
When
the
you're,
file?
Older.
there's a folder at the very top, above
Yep.
where it has minutes, agenda. They're up in there.
Got it.
Just, I was not able to open graduation ceremony.
Yeah, I couldn't either, but Phyllis had tucked it in that policies
in there
folder
too.
that I didn't see either, so. But
If y'all
she
want-
did correct it.
It-
It's,
You can wait a week on these. It's okay if you guys want another week to read them and. you could
well,
just do
I think we
separate.
need to, do we need to work, are any of these critical that need to be dealt with right this second?
No.
Okay. Are you okay if we hold
Yeah,
off
as
to
long as
let?
that doesn't stall us on another end. I mean, I can always do like a quick overview of them too. So
Mhm. Whatever you all want to do.
Yeah, it's up to.
I just wanted Jeremiah, he's still learning.
no, we can
Yep.
take a week. That's fine.
I am fine with, there doesn't seem anything like super monumental as far as like controversial, right? So if you want to do a executive summary and then we could move them along.
Great.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
Yep.
So JLCF is our wellness policy, and that is basically oversees our nutrition, our physical activity, how kids and staff are getting wellness. I think the biggest part of the policy that we would like to change is to disband the wellness committee. That was one of the committees that a school board member had to attend, admin had to attend, teachers had to attend, and it was really taking away from teaching and learning. So we really just wanted to disband the wellness committee because currently right now, there are people that oversee this in their day-to-day operations anyways. We did not feel it needed oversight. So that's the main gist of wellness. Tom, did I miss anything?
No.
For JLDBB, so this is a standard policy on how the school manages suicide, how they have a suicide response and what they do for prevention. So the teaching, education, training, the school does use certified measures. They have things that they put in place to teach staff on how to manage suicide risk. They have also gone through mental health first aid. It's basically just how the school responds to a suicidal student. It's a pretty standard. And then the graduation ceremony, that is one that Ms. Mitchison and I brought ahead because we would like to have the opportunity for staff, faculty, school board, administrators who live in the district, if their children are graduating high school, to be able to hand their diploma to their child.
Outrageous.
I know, outrageous. And then also we would have, if people who like are select person or fire or things, they could submit a letter to Ms. Mitchison and Superintendent Ambrose to ask for that.
The link on that, is that what you guys are talking about?
Yes,
Link?
it's in the
So
policies.
there's a
folder.
different,
Yeah,
because I'm in the policy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. then move
but
on.
that's the gist of that
that's-
policy. So those are the three that we would like for first read. So what first read means is, Jeremiah, is you,
Good on that.
okay.
Yep. Thanks.
That means.
Micah, you're good. What, first read?
Mhm.
Sorry, I like mom's plain. I mom's plain.
I would actually like to know, what is the purpose of reading it twice?
The purpose is that the public is notified twice of a policy change with an opportunity.
Okay.
So it's
does
not
any-
really that you need it.
Why
it's-
do we sometimes do first and second reads together?
If it's very pressing for a legal purpose. then
Okay, that's when we do,
I don't like to do that, but I do it.
but that's when we, okay. Okay, I didn't know that.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you for
on
mansplaining that to me.
those three policies that we discussed?
Did
I
we,
know.
did we survey any of
She
the,
said mom's plain.
students? Like, do the students actually want their parents to hand the diploma?
I wasn't gonna go there. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Some would be like.
Yeah.
I
So,
think that's a conversation that the student and the parent need to have. And if the student and the
It's a
parent decide,
non-public
yes, a non-public
They have to
conversation,
move into non.
that's when they go and they put in their request to be up on stage. Yeah, but I think it's a great idea.
JJ, you have
I'm not entirely sure that that's that opening up to non-staff members is the greatest plan.
Okay.
I think that it's graduation. It will happen one way or another, but I think that I personally wouldn't like that. I'm not sure about other students.
It would just be that one person.
Yes, yes.
And we did do it last year. It was done and it actually seemed like it went over extremely well. There was a
Fine.
military
It's
officer.
very.
It's very minimal. The amount of people, it was someone in the military. His sister was graduating.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome to see him be able to hand her the diploma.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was a great moment for them. And it really felt like a great moment for everybody because I was up on stage and I got to watch and it really was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really a cool moment. And like he said, it's not going to be very common that there's 6 of them. And at that point, it does say in the policy that they need to put in the request to Miss Mitchinson. So if it becomes a point where it's like, oh, well, we have 10 people, we may have to make a call on, like, do we really allow 10 people or do we just say, hey, I'm sorry, this year it's just too much. And, how do we deal with that? So we're going to have to figure it out, but it does
so-
specify.
Couldn't access that one. It just,
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
like-
okay, but
That's like trying to put the milk back in the cow.
yeah, look,
Mhm.
here's the thing. The vast majority of kids are not going to want someone else to give them. Usually when this happens, there's usually something special attached to
Right.
it. So I talked to Miss Mitchinson at length about.
And this is
the-
something Timberlane does.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't happen other places.
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, but my perspective is if you can manage it administratively, knowing that you could get into a snowballing situation
Right.
that would cause you problems. So
And I
you
do-
just have to have some type
I have
of,
2 lines.
I mean, theoretically, you might end up in a situation where you're going out of order and everybody's going through the normal process and then it's the non-normal alphabetically and the presenters are coming up at the same time the kids are.
I will,
But I don't know if you'll get that many, but
My
as long
kid-
as you manage it.
Yeah, most kids are going to be like, no way.
Right.
So it's usually there's some exceptional thing that's happened, like like what happened last year with the
Right.
presented it to his sister. I mean, it was really nice. So I'm really not. Jen assured me and Heidi they're here. So is there anything you guys want to say about it? I mean, they kind of said, we feel like this is fine. So I trust them.
right.
yeah, and I mean, Jen and I both went to Timberlane and it did not cause a lot of chaos. It literally was like every graduation, it was maybe 1 or 2. Like it was not something that was obscene. And I know that when we talked about in the policy meeting, they had already kind of looked ahead the next couple of years to see who the seniors are who are graduating and who works in the district or, school board members or that sort of thing. And it was like less than 6 people. I think something, it wasn't an obscene, it wasn't a large number.
All right.
So we're agreeing no obscenities
boring.
because I heard not obscene twice. So no obscenities allowed.
All right. So is everyone good for a first read on these 3?
Did we get that motion yet?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
No, it was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
did
took
get
you up
the,
on the offer.
Phyllis, who
Mansplain.
made that motion?
He didn't let you.
We didn't have.
I didn't think so. Okay. But-
I don't want
I
to waste
moved-
anybody's time.
Yeah.
I moved the first 3 on first read,
Okay, great.
JLCF, JLD, BB, IKFAA.
Second.
Great. Thank you, Micah. Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor? All right, thank you, unanimous. Okay, now we have KFA and KI for first and second read.
Tom, I'm gonna lobby those to you.
Okay, so basically these needed to be updated for legal reasons.
Mhm.
There's no major changes. I recommend approving these and these are first and second read for that reason. If anyone feels uncomfortable and you want to wait a week, I'm fine with that too.
The nice thing is we have another meeting next week and
Yeah,
it's not 2
it's
weeks.
it's 5 school days, so it's not a big deal.
I do have one question about the KFA thing. So
Sure.
it appeared in the way that it was written that it removes the part about explicit prohibition of members of the public from having certain weapons. I'm not sure if that conflicts with JICI, which still explicitly would prevent them from having weapons on the campus. And I'm also not sure if if I read that correctly, if that's the correct intended effect of the change. But I'm not quite sure that that's something that the board should be very willing to do if that is the correct intended change. So I just wanted clarification on that.
So ask the question one more time. so it's a lot.
The way that I read it, it made the language on weapons by members of the private citizens, visitors to the school. It seemed like it was making it so that it only prevented them from bringing personal weapons with them while they're visiting the school if there's any intent to cause ill harm, which that was the way I read it. I wanted to clarify if it only would prevent, if it's removing the prevention of people from visitors bringing weapons on.
I think it's KI. Are you
Oh,
talking about
KFA.
KI?
No, it's
Oh,
KFA.
Oh,
I think he's talking about number 8.
It's 8 on the new thing and it was
Under notes?
7 something or other.
notes.
Under notes. I
Xed
think.
out version.
While students are prohibited from possessing firearms on school property under board policy JICI and RSA 190:13, mere possession or displaying of a firearm by non-student adults shall not in and of itself and without additional circumstances as described in this paragraph constitute reckless conduct or a violation.
And I just wanted to know if the intended effect of this is to change it so that visitors to the public are allowed to have weapons on campus. And I think that that's something that the board should seriously consider not approving if that is the intended effect.
Go back. See, whenever there's a good point, I set that to go off.
What page exactly were you on? there?
It's number 7 on
It's
policy.
number 8.
8. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's under number 8.
The notes.
What page? It's
It was 5 or 6.
And
Yeah.
the old version of the
That's
policy, which is Xed out or like crossed out above, it was under number 7. It clearly explicitly stated any weapons or anything, and that's absent from the newer version. So
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Mhm.
And I think it's a valid point you bring it up because the way the language is now, there's no permit to carry in New Hampshire, right? So
Right.
you don't need a
Yeah.
permit to, so, but this says, not only is it okay to carry the gun, but you can display it. So I know when I took my mass certification, you got a permit, you don't pull your gun out unless you're going to use it. So there should be no reason to display a weapon anywhere on school property if we're going to even allow it. So
Mm.
we should probably do something with the language.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we take a look at this one.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take a look.
Yeah.
I just want to point out to JJ that it's not the school board that's intending this language.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
If-
this came
if
from
There's a
the
change in the state statute.
SBA.
yeah, but just because it's absent from the state statutes doesn't mean the board can't have a policy against it. If I'm correct.
I think
You're
it's
correct
the,
on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. A
other-
good, well-spoken point, JJ.
The other aspect of this is we talked about vandalism in the last finance meeting. Do we want to be explicit in this because this is talking about inappropriate conduct and incorporating that vandalism discussion right in?
100%.
JIC is the policy that's about student conduct. This is about general public conduct.
And JICK is the bullying policy. So I'll bring this back to.
Why don't we bring this back to policy?
Yeah, I'll bring it back.
Table.
Well, I'll bring it back to our attorney and get an answer to JJ's question because I think it's an important question.
Okay. All right. So then we will remove that back to the lawyer and policy and bring it back to the board. So then KI visitors to school staff. and students.
and that one here.
So I see that this is first and second read, but I see a comment in here, Ms. Levitt, about whether or not we want to address students who are 18 needing to have parental approval. And I don't see a response to that. So I don't know that, has that been resolved?
Not sure. Heidi, has that been resolved? Okay.
Here's the school.
then I think we should bring
Are
this.
are we back? I mean, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about the other one because.
No, so,
Thought-provoking
We're
question.
on to
So
K.
actually,
sorry,
I
Dawn.
think KFA and KI, we need to bring back
Back.
to
Yep.
the committee.
Yep.
So we will bring those back to the lawyer and policy and we'll bring them back to you.
Yeah, I think we need to clarify that with the lawyer, because I know, not our school district, but another school district, one of my daughter's boyfriend, he was 18 while he was a senior in high school, but he still had to have his parent, if he was late or whatever, had to confirm tardiness because he was still a student. So I think we need to just clarify what we have to
We don't want people going.
we don't want an 18-year-old to decide, I'm just done with school and not having the parents notified. I think we just need to clarify where we need to be on that. So good call, good catch. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Tom is still.
Yeah, I want to work on.
We're
this.
just gonna, yeah, we're gonna
We're
see.
Very thought provoking.
Might
Yeah,
be
I'd love-
associated with state law, but I don't know how it would be to say that you can't have a restriction like that, but we need to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the previous policy.
Yep. We're gonna bring it back.
It's important.
Okay. All right, since we're tabling those two, second public comment. Since there is no one, we will continue on. Okay, so next Sanborn Regional School Board meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 at 6 PM in the library at the Sanborn Regional High School. The Budget Committee will reconvene on Thursday, April 13th, 2023 at 7 PM in the library at Sanborn Regional High School. We will, if someone will call us into non-public, and then we will take a quick 5-minute break.
And before we do that, Phyllis got cupcakes because it's Heather and Dawn's birthday. So y'all have a treat
Oh.
this
Well,
evening.
not tonight, but this week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Wow.
Phyllis is the best.
Phyllis.
That's-
And she even got me gluten-free cupcakes.
She did.
I
Give them a
know.
gluten-free for Dawn and if it-
The rest are calorie free.
They're both for Dawn. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I do not need to.
Into non-public session RSA 91-A, semicolon 3, Roman numeral 2, CK.
Great.
Did I do that right?
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right. Roll call in. Heather.
Yep.
Rick. Jeremiah.
Yes.
Maura.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Myself. Yes. Micah.
Yes.
Great. All right. Quick 5-minute break.
Roll.
We're trying. All right. My